While most of us fret about an extra kilo or two once in a while, for some, the struggle with weight is an entirely different league. For these people, they're talking about hundreds of kilos, and their battle is not just with the flab, it's a life or death struggle. Let's take a look at 10 of the heaviest people in the whole world to have ever lived, and some are still alive and hold a story to tell. Their unique narratives are filled with health problems associated with obesity, but also bravery and even happiness is intertwined to form incredibly fascinating tales. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to Mindboggler, and click the notification bell for more amazing content. Let's begin. Number 10. Paul Mason. Paul Mason was once considered the world's fattest man, weighing in at a shocking 980 pounds. But how on earth did he end up gaining this much weight? Thanks to his consumption of 20,000 calories a day, including 3 family-sized takeaway meals an evening. This intake is 10 times what a normal human being can consume. Though Paul absolutely knew it was killing him, he couldn't stop. It all started back when he suffered a heartbreak in his 20s because of a sudden demise of his beloved father and regular deterioration of his mother's health. Paul became victim to stress and anxiety, and he chose to eat to deal with the problem, without realizing that 2 wrongs cannot make 1 right. Despite being jobless, Paul still managed to spend a whopping £30,000 a year on food. He was told to undergo a gastric bypass or risk certain death. After surgery, he went down to £560. Now he's looking to have the rolls of unsightly excess skin from the weight loss removed. Number 9. Donna Simpson. Simpson first came to fame in February 2007 when Guinness World Records declared her the world's heaviest mother because she weighed 532 pounds before giving birth to her daughter, Jacqueline. The birth of the baby required a team of 30 doctors, and we're sure you can guess why. Her ideal weight was £1,000, and things get more interesting when she set up a website where fans paid to watch her eat. Her yearly earnings surpassed the $90,000 mark, and so do her calories. With an intake of 15,000 calories a day online, she gained a dead weight of 630 pounds. Simpson says her weekly food costs around $582 to $750. In late 2010, she decided to take things to a whole new creepy level and decided to eat a dinner of a lifetime. She consumed 30,000 calories that night, and it took her 2 hours to finish this monstrous dinner. Surprisingly, in August 2011, Simpson finally decided to go on a diet to decrease her weight to 370 pounds. She said she wanted to be more self-sufficient and do a better job of raising her children. Number 8. Manuel Uribe. Born in 1965 in Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico, Manuel Uribe is known for having ballooned to the weight of 6 men. He was a chubby kid, weighing more than 250 pounds as an adolescent, and later became known as one of the most obese men in history. On a diet of tacos and pizzas, he reached a peak weight of around 597 kilograms, and since then he struggled to leave his own bed. Uribe drew worldwide attention when he was featured as the world's heaviest man in a television documentary. He was offered surgery to help him get thinner, but he rejected the offer on a live television show. But his growing weight and battle against associated disease convinced him to alter his heavy course. With the help of doctors and nutritionists, Uribe lost approximately a third of his body weight. Sadly, on the 28th of May 2014, the Guinness record holder for world's heaviest man left the world at the age of 48 in Mexico after being bedridden for more than a decade. Number 7. Robert Earl Hughes. The late Robert Earl Hughes was, during his lifetime, the heaviest human recorded in the history of the world. Rumour has it he was buried in a piano shipping box because no coffin was large enough to hold him. Was this really true? The hospital records described Hughes as having been a normal-sized baby at the time of his birth. The story goes everything was fine until he suffered an attack of whooping cough at 3 months of age. After that, his weight began to skyrocket. By age 6, Hughes weighed 92 kilograms. At 10, he was 171 kilograms. At 13, 346, and at 25, he weighed in at 406 kilograms. Because of his mammoth-sized body structure, Robert was offered a role by amusement company to appear as a sideshow attraction at carnivals and fairs. He was 32 years old when he died in 1926 because of uremia. The biggest problem in his treatment was his huge size, so large that none of the hospitals had a stretcher strong enough to carry his weight. In addition, it was clear that he could not pass through the doors into any of their hospital rooms nor did they have a bed big enough to hold him. Instead, a makeshift hospital room was set up inside of Hughes' room, which was built atop a tractor-trailer bed and parked in the hospital's parking lot. Number 6. Kenneth Bromley. Famously known as Half-Ton Dad, Kenneth, as a father of 4, weighed more than 1,033 pounds. As a child, Bromley played basketball, baseball and American football, which kept his weight average. But after a move to California at age 19, he stopped playing and the weight began to accumulate. At his heaviest, Bromley had a daily caloric intake of approximately 30,000 calories. He was later accepted as a gastric bypass patient at the Renaissance Hospital in Houston, Texas. However, to get him out of the house to the hospital, a fire crew had to demolish a wall to pull him out. His first step in treatment was to restrict him to a diet of 1,200 calories a day, which helped him lose 76 kilograms in 40 days. Doctors had to perform a gastric bypass in stages. Each surgical removal lasted about 5 hours, in addition to removing 18 kilograms of tumours from between his legs. Luckily, by the end of his treatment, he was able to stand on his own 2 feet, even if only for a few seconds. Number 5. Michael Hebranco. Michael John Hebranco was an American man who suffered from an extreme case of morbid obesity and was one of the heaviest men in the world. Michael's story is unbelievably amazing in the sense that during his lifetime he gained and lost over 3,000 pounds and got honourable mention in a talk show hosted by Oprah. Michael also caught the attention of celebrity fitness coach Richard Simmons. At the age of 34, Michael used to eat 24 pork chops, 2 pounds of bacon, 3 dozen eggs, and all this in one sitting. Yes, in one sitting. He eventually reached a peak of 1,100 pounds, and no joke, the man became so fat that the construction workers had to rip a hole in his house to get him out and take him to the hospital. Michael lost his will to live. In fact, once he put a gun into his mouth and almost pulled the trigger. However, he instead chose to get rid of all his fat. Michael not only achieved his goal, but also set a world record of losing more than 700 pounds in just 19 months. His yo-yo weight loss story continued, and he had to be repeatedly hospitalized until his unfortunate death in 2013. Number 4. Mayra Rosalies. Well, we've told you about Half-Ton Dad. How about Half-Ton Killer? Meet Mayra Rosalies, a woman who made headlines for all the wrong reasons. She was accused of murdering her sister's son, and unfortunately during her trial, people dubbed her as Half-Ton Killer. But astonishingly, she walked free out of court when the jury decided she was too big to kill anyone. The 33-year-old once weighed more than 1,000 pounds, but that was some 5 years ago. She now weighs just 200 pounds. Rosalies has been the subject of intense media attention, both on the death of her nephew and due to her massive weight loss. In 2013, Rosalies stated on the Spanish-language TV show Sábado Gigante that she had lost 800 pounds. She also appeared on Anderson Cooper in 2012 to tell about her incredible transformation. Rosalies believes that her survival was a miracle of God because she has suffered chronic skin infections caused by the multiple folds of fat around her body. Doctors attempted a surgical treatment to remove much of the fat and litres of fluid from her body. Number 3. John Brower Minnock. Though most Guinness World Records get broken over time, there is one that has remained unbroken for the last 40 years. In March of 1978, John Brower Minnock, an American awarded with a world record for being the heaviest person on planet Earth, weighed in at 1,400 pounds. Not coming slow, the same year he also broke a record for the greatest difference in weight between a married couple, when he married his 50-kilogram wife, Jeanette, and later fathered 2 children. Despite weighing roughly the same as a polar bear, Minnock's weight continued to increase steadily until his hospitalization due to cardiac and respiratory failure. It took 13 people just to roll him over in bed. He also suffered from massive edema, which in turn made his body retain at least 408 kilograms of unwanted fluids. Sadly, he had spent the better part of his life just battling with his weight. Though he was discharged from the hospital after 16 months on a strict diet of 1,200 calories per day, he was readmitted to the hospital just over a year later because of his underlying condition of edema being incurable and difficult to treat. The decision was made to discontinue treatment, and he died 23 months later on September 10, 1983. Number 2. Terry Smith. Diet or die. This was what mother of one Terry Smith was told when doctors found out she weighed a hefty 317 kilograms. Terry Smith is believed to be the world's fattest woman who's confined to her bedroom in her Ohio home, unable to move, stand or roll over by herself because of her obesity. She's also suffering from severe headaches, which doctors fear could stem from a brain problem. Terry urgently needs a brain scan, but she's too big to fit inside an MRI machine. Bedbound for at least 3 years, the 49-year-old woman required the assistance of her husband, Myron, and her eldest daughter to do anything. Smith said she'd always been large. At age 7, she weighed almost 51 kilograms. When she turned 32, she gained a whopping 41 kilograms in just 30 days. As the weight piled on, she developed severe arthritis in her knees and wasn't even able to walk for more than a few steps. Well, the good news is Terry is now embarking on a weight loss campaign of exercises and healthy eating in a bid to live a normal life. Number 1. Zambic Katkov. There's a face of child obesity. It's this baby boy from Russia known as Zambic Katkov. Born in 1999, he weighed 2.89 kilograms in his first year, which is a reasonable weight for a baby. However, by the time he reached a year old, he weighed 12.7 kilograms, and at age 3, he was lifting weights as heavy as 3 kilograms. At age 6, he was 71 kilograms, and since then, he's gained nearly 50 kilograms on a diet of porridge and ice cream. However, Zambic was an active child, so he started practicing wrestling and lifting weights in a bid to become a successful sumo wrestler one day, a goal that his mother shared unencouraged. At a very young age, Zambic appeared on television in Russia and Germany and was even flown to Japan to visit a sumo school and be on TV. The world's fattest child has his ambition of winning gold for Russia at the Olympics, though his doctors are concerned about the growing weight that could potentially cause him more harm than good. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please let me know by clicking the like button. Do share, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch up my next video.